The City of Denver says it is likely going to miss its goal on one of the mayor's top priorities, moving people from homelessness into permanent housing. Our Mark Salinger takes a closer look.
Denver's fight to solve homelessness is facing a new hurdle.
So it really clogs the whole system, which is why it's so problematic.
Mayor Mike Johnston says the city is beginning to lose state and federal housing vouchers that help people transition from shelters to permanent housing.
So we do need federal help. We do need state help. When those go away, it just puts more pressure on the city to step up.
The Denver Housing Authority lost 100 housing vouchers last quarter after federal funds were pulled back. The state cut another 80 vouchers as Colorado faced a $1 billion budget shortfall. The result is more people staying in city-run shelters for longer periods of time. That costs Denver taxpayers more money.
If those vouchers go away, now the exits for people to leave our shelters and go into permanent housing are blocked. That means those folks get stuck in those transitional shelters for longer and longer. That means people that are on the streets trying to get into those transitional housing sites don't have spots come open.
The changes have led to a slowdown in people moving out of shelters and into housing. So much so that the city says it likely won't hit its goal of moving 2,000 people off the streets and into permanent housing this year.
So what it means is literally the very most vulnerable part of the population that can't get a job and pay their own rent are the ones who are most affected by losing these vouchers.
The city of Denver has spent at least $200 million enacting Johnston's top priority as mayor. But the mayor's push to solve homelessness is only as strong as the resources and money that are available.
Because I don't think we can rely anymore on the belief that the federal government will be there for support.
Exits to permanent and stable housing continue to outpace exits from shelters back to the streets. That gives the mayor hope that this strategy is working. But if more funding is pulled or more housing resources are lost, the sustainability of keeping people in hotel shelters for even longer periods of time becomes harder to keep up. The city says they could pivot in theory toward trying to train more people to get back to work, into the workforce. But of course, Kyle, that's challenging.
Yeah, certainly different resources, right, Mark, might prompt people to make different decisions, right? That here's what they think they can do with relatively unlimited funds, but in a constrained budget, this is the best that they can do.
Yeah, and if you look at how much it costs to keep somebody in a mile-high shelter for a year, for example, the mayor says it's about $40,000. But if you can rotate, let's say, 4 people throughout the year, then all of a sudden you used $40,000 to get 4 people into permanent housing. You can see how that adds up quickly if you just leave one person in the hotel all year.
Mark, I appreciate it. I've called you Marshall a dozen times. Why I called you Mike, I've got no idea.
It's a lot of M's.
It's a lot of M's. I appreciate it. Thank you.